Hi everyone. So on the studio, I would like to welcome Dr. Rinku Samra. He's rank 8 INICET this year. Awesome performance, beta. We are really proud of you. How are you feeling today?
Sir, I'm feeling awesome, and uh, like it's been so many days. We all have been waiting for the results, and uh, the times were stressful. We all had to study a lot, and finally it has come. So I'm very happy.
And Bache, when you were appearing for this exam, there are some questions that a lot of students have asked me to, put to the toppers. Which set did you appear for? Was it the morning set or the evening set?
I appeared for the morning set.
Morning set. And how
Morning.
many
Morning.
questions did you attempt?
Sir, I attempted 190 questions.
190, 198.
No, sorry,
Okay.
190, 190.
190, 190. Okay. And do
Yes.
you think that was there any, when you talked to your friends who had given the other set, do you think there was any difference in the difficulty level, or you think the papers were of similar difficulty level?
Sir, though I haven't discussed in a great detail, I but
Yeah.
I think that to the extent that I discussed, I realized that all the most of many questions were there which were asked in both of the papers. The same topic was repeated, but the concept was
Okay.
changed. Like there was a question on the co-infection and superinfection of HBV, HDV. So in that we were asked about co-infection and they were asked about superinfection. So like I think that the topics were similar. They would have tried to maintain that.
And I think what they've done is they've taken one topic and put one question here, so that the
Yes,
difficulty
sir.
level is almost similar. And I think that
Yes,
is
sir.
the conclusion that most people would draw, because we have seen the results are from both the sets. And
Okay.
all the people who have done well in this exam have attempted around 190 and above. So I think that is also very consistent in this paper. How was the difficulty level of the paper? Will you rate it as easy, moderate, or tough? And any special observation about the exam?
Sir, I would say the paper was for about 130 to 40 questions were average that anyone who would have like prepared could have answered 130 to 140 questions. But then the next 30 questions may be a little above average, and there were 15 to 20 questions there that were like they're not difficult, but they're very conceptual, I would say.
And do you think the first, second year was represented more than the third, fourth year in this paper, or do you think it was more balanced?
Sir, I think from the first and second year there were around like 100 plus questions. So
Okay. And if you compare it with the May exam, do you think any changes in the pattern other than the two sets that were there?
change in the pattern, sir. All the advices that we get from our seniors and the faculties, they always focus on the topics that are asked for the exam. They never say that study the entire full length subjects. So that thing was very consistent. I found that the people INICET, they are asking from that specific topics. So yeah, all among all the 200 questions, I had I had a read of that topic. Definitely, I knew that topic. So even if I didn't know the exact thing what they were asking, but they are very consistent with their topics. If they are asking questions from tuberculosis, a complication of HIV, or whatever the topics are there, they have chosen to ask from. So definitely they are asking from those topics only. Now they'll definitely change the questions or like go in some other
So
detail, but
you can say that the topics are consistent.
topics are consistent.
And were you happy with the level of questions and the discussions that happened in DAMS? Do you think they were reflective of the real exam?
Sir, yeah, uh, I think they were reflective of the real exam, and uh, uh, mostly while the questions were set, every time the questions were asked around the previous year question paper. So I thought that that was a good thing because we need to read from around those topics only because the topics will be repeated from what I observed from the previous year papers that generally the topics are repeated every time.
Yeah, that is the DAMS approach, that we focus more on the usually asked topics. And I think the usually asked topics are usually asked. And this year is the testament of that approach, that we don't need to do everything. We need to focus on what is usually asked in the paper. And they may change the question, but the topics are frequently repeated. And any particular faculty that you remember, or you followed their advices, or you followed them more?
Sir, I followed Dipti Bell ma'am and for Obsgyne, and I found it very fruitful. Even I found one question that was repeated. She used to share questions on Facebook, and mostly those were previous year questions only. and asked in the comment sections. People used to answer those questions. So one question I found from there also, that, and even all those questions that reminded me of the topics that I should again go through again if I don't I'm not clear with those. So I followed MEM, and definitely Obsgyne was a very weak subject for me. I didn't do well in Obsgyne most of the times during my MBBS. So I did get a lot of help from her.
And were there any ups and downs in this journey where you had to really, gear yourself up?
Sir, uh, actually, till the sixth semester or so, I didn't prepare much for, and didn't think much about this entrance and these things. And even sixth, seventh semester were not that good. But then the later part, the final year, I tried to study well. And in the internship, I was lucky that I didn't have to do lot of work, clinical work. So I got some time, and I could prepare as well. And so almost the internship period I utilized for preparing for the exams.
And do you think if somebody is focusing on the previous year topics, giving grand tests, attending test and discussions, and working on the weak zones, like you had a weak zone in obs and gynae, you were working more deep on it, and like, do you think that selected approach is more useful for INICT, where you know what has been asked in the past?
Sir, definitely I would say that the only thing that can get us some good ranks in INICT is selective approach. We have to go selective. There is no need to study everything. Only the topics that were asked previously, if we go and read them, hardly there will be 5 questions which will go out of that. And definitely all 95, I think 195 or 190 questions were there that I remembered I studying in the paper. Everything, and no one can remember everything, but like uh, the topics were repeated, and it becomes very we become very comfortable once we know that we at least know the topic. Then we get something to work on, and then we could get the correct answer.
Any thought process regarding, like, if we try to dissect, like you said, more than 100 were from first and second year subjects, and the rest were from the final year and the third year subjects. If we go more granular on it, can you help us to understand, like, and the audience who are listening to us today, that what questions were, like, what topics were like the usually asked topics that you saw in the paper?
Sir, I would say for INICT, the first, second year topics, and as my seniors and all the seniors told me that the first, second year topics are very important for INICT because it comprises of around 50 to 55, 60% even sometimes in the paper. And that was true even this year. There are a lot of questions from the first, second year part. And I would say that even me, I revised like even 3 or 4 times some subjects, but only from the first and second year. I didn't revise, even I didn't even revise medicine at all till the last. Because the medicine is a thing everyone knows that if you know the question, then you know, and there is not much point in studying that. Even we in the final year we studied medicine a lot, and medicine, surgery, all those final years away. Also surgery we have to study because there are a lot of fact based things in surgery. But like subjects like medicine, pediatrics, we can go easy on those subjects. Even there are not so much questions from pediatrics, and the topics from which they are asked, we know the topics. So I think that we should focus more on the first year subjects, first, second year subjects. And topics like, I found topics like biochemistry very scoring. If you do, there is very concise notes of biochemistry, even in DAMS. So if we go through these concise notes, and then it's very easy to score around 13 to 15 questions very easily. In some subjects, we can't be sure. The minor subjects like ENT, Optha, Ortho, Dharma, we can't be sure. Like they will ask 5 to 7 questions, and even sometimes they ask very difficult questions. I found the questions from ENT very difficult, but so I couldn't. I think I didn't score any from that subject. But if we study the first, second year subjects, definitely will score good because they are asking those topics repeatedly, and they're repeating the topics even. So I think it's very important to revise the first, second year subjects. If someone is appearing for the first time and he knows his medicine and then pediatrics, obs gynae very well, so it requires only one revision. But I think the first, second year, everyone might have skipped their classes and didn't give much attention during their first, second years. So I think, and even they're asking more from the first, second years. One subject, forensic, is there. So I think that gives the edge. Many people neglect, maybe they don't think 5 to 6 questions should be asked. I will know 2 or 3 of them. But again, forensic is a very sporting subject. If we read it, like I had to read twice or thrice because I don't remember anything from forensic from my second year. So one thing that I would say is that first, second year subjects are very, very important. And we have to go through the first second year topics. And another thing is that I use the DAMS notes for physiology, and it was very productive.
Any other, like, do you think giving grant test also helps you? When you give more grant test, you refine your skill, your time management? Were you able to finish the paper on time this time? And any observation on the exam skills?
Sir, I think giving grand tests is very important. I attempted around 10 to 11 grand tests before my exams. The thing is that about grand tests, if we give the exam and we don't review the paper and review the solutions, where did we go wrong? Which topic did we miss? So then that is not of much use, because just by doing questions and not seeing the answers and just seeing the score and being happy won't be good enough. I think we need to review the questions, we need to review the topics, and then it's very helpful. But not giving lot many grant tests and not reviewing the answers is not that fruitful. So I think we should give a limited number of grant tests, but we should introspect regarding what the timing, and regarding the topics and where we are going wrong.
Okay. And I also want you to, give a little bit idea on, like, if somebody has not done well on this INICET exam and wants to prepare for the May exam, any tips you want to share?
Uh, Sir, first I would like to say that previous year questions are the gold standard. So first thing is that you have to know the previous year questions. You have to know the once you'll go through the previous year questions, then you will know what are the previous year topics. So then you can easily target those topics. You can study those topics. Again, first second year are very important. So if in the last month you don't get time to revise all the subjects, then definitely you should revise the first second year subjects. And surgery, I think surgery is a topic which requires some revision. So the those things I think one should focus on if someone has limited time.
And if I now ask you, Beta, do you have any non-medical side as well? Any hobbies or anything that you pursue that helps you to recharge your battery?
Sir, I don't have much. I like to watch some TV shows, some movies, and I play guitar sometimes.
That's great. I think, that's very important to have some kind of a buffer zone. Any, more inspirational message you want to share to future aspirants, or anything you want to tell to them?
Uh, uh, Sir, I think that knowing the thing that if we study and if we do a targeted approach, if we know our topics good, and if we know what exam we are appearing, what they are asking, if we do a little, we know we don't need a 2 month research on the paper. It takes hardly 5 days to find out the topics. If we just go to the previous year questions, if we mark the topics that which topic is this question asked from, then we'll get a curated list of all the important topics that are being asked. So within it will take around 1 week of time to find out the topics, and then I think that is the most important task to do. So like if we are targeted, if we have a good approach, then I think it's not very difficult to get a good rank, and that is the advice.
Yeah. So for all these students who have not done well in this exam, or you want to improve for the subsequent exam, remember to look at the PPE kit, the previous year paper solutions on your app, so that you are thorough with the previous year topics, which are vital. Do more grand test, analyze your mistakes, find what are your weak zones, work on them. Everything is possible. And on this note, I want to ask one final question to Dr. Rinku. Which subject will you take?
Sir, I'm thinking about medicine.
I wish you all the best. I wish and pray that you get the branch of your choice in the place of your choice. Heartiest congratulations once more, beta. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.